Good afternoon. Welcome to Haunted Stories with your host, Scott Latia. We are here in Bisbee, Arizona. We are about ready to investigate the Copper Queen Hotel on the other side of the historical museum here. Renee, can you tell me a little bit about the hauntings of Bisbee, Arizona?
The entire town is haunted, but every part of Old Bisbee, including the newer areas like Warren and San Jose, they're all haunted.
Come join us as we investigate and share our experiences of the Copper Queen Hotel. Good afternoon. Welcome to Haunted Stories with your host, Scott Latia. We're here at the Copper Queen Hotel in Bisbee, Arizona with Dan Finck. Dan, can you tell me a little bit about the Copper Queen Hotel and a little bit of the history of Bisbee?
I can. Bisbee started, it was a mining town. Judge Bisbee in San Francisco grub-staked a miner that came here and struck it rich, and they named the town after him. But by the turn of the century, this was the second largest town west of St. Louis, mining town. There was a lot of money being made here. Matter of fact, there's more millionaires made here in this area than any place else in America at the time. Phelps Dodge, when they came to town, was a mercantile. They weren't a mining company at the time. And they ended up buying up all the mining rights and became when they merged with Freeport McMoran a few years back, they were one of the largest mining corporations in the world. And they were the ones that built the Copper Queen Hotel. So they had all these investors, all this money coming into town, and they needed to build a grand hotel. So in 1898, they started the Copper Queen Hotel and opened its doors President's Day in 1902.
The Copper Queen Hotel is the oldest continuously operating hotel in the state of Arizona. And we have been told it has 16 entities, 16.
Wow.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about, I know that there's been throughout the history, there's been a lot of different people that have stayed here. Can you tell our listeners a little bit about some of the people that have stayed?
There's been a lot of famous people stay here. You know, Bela Lugosi and Harry Houdini back in the day, and then, you know, John Wayne was probably my favorite one that was a regular guest here. I mean, he just didn't spend the night here. He was a regular guest here, and he liked to come here. He had a ranch outside of town. He owned several buildings in town. And he used to come, and if you know anything about John, he liked to drink a bit, so he would stagger out of the saloon at night, go up those stairs and turn right. He wanted that corner room. That's the room he always wanted. But he was a freaking guest here. Julia Roberts stayed here. Johnny Depp got kicked out of here. You know, so there's been a lot of people that stay here. Buck Taylor was the last one that I can think of that stayed here, and he and his wife had a real good time.
Can you tell our listeners a little bit about some of the hauntings that go on here?
Well, we've got several resident ghosts that stay here in the Copper Queen Hotel. If you've noticed on the front desk, people come down the next morning and say, "No, I had a vision or a sighting or whatever." Say, write it in the book, and we've compiled those. We've got about 12 volumes. I compiled them into a book.
What are some of the different spirits that are said to haunt this location?
Well, the three most popular ones, the ones that are seen the most, that most people know about before checking in, are Billy. We also have the Smoking Man, and he, you don't really see him as much as you smell him. You'll smell cigar smoke coming from out of nowhere, and it's most likely the Cigar Man. And then we have Julia, who's the lady of negotiable affection.
Probably our most famous ghost, I would say, would be Billy. He's a young boy, and we kind of figured he must have drowned in the San Pedro River.
Which you probably crossed when you came into town. It might have been dry, but it's a river. And they say he drowned there. His mother was probably a housekeeper at the Queen, and that's why he came back to the building to be with his mother.
Or front desk, or worked here, because this is where he came. And he's just very, very young. He's only, 3-4 years old.
He's a trickster, he's a prankster. He likes to play practical jokes on people.
And I tell people, if you want Billy to visit your rooms, because adults usually don't see him, but take your bling off.
That he'll hide your jewelry, and then you won't be able to find it, and then he'll put it back in a place different than where you left it. He also likes toys.
For some people, bring little cars and trucks and leave them. I say, put them on your nightstand, see exactly which way they're turned and where you have them, because he'd pick them up and look at them and put them down maybe over 6 inches or something.
He's been known to move toys around. He likes candy. He'll take candy out of the wrappers, eat the candy, leave the wrappers for the guests to throw away. And he also hides shoes. So I always tell the guests, if you lose your shoes, look under the bed. He likes to hide shoes under the bed. And guests can also hear him laughing. So they'll complain to the front desk of children playing in the hallway at like 2, 3 in the morning. And of course, you know, they'll look through their computer to see which children are staying on the floor so that they can, you know, tell them to be quiet. And of course, there'll be no children staying there. So lots of stuff like that.
I think our next most favorite guest was Julia Lowe. And that's room 315. That's the back of the building, and there's a ramp that comes up from the back of the building. She was a lady of the evening, and men could come in and be discreet, and she worked the hotel. But she fell in love with the young man, and he wouldn't leave his wife, so she hung herself in that hotel.
And they believe that she hung herself on the 3rd floor. She fell in love with one of her suitors, who was a married man, and she confessed her love to him, and he told her he wanted nothing to do with her. He didn't love her, he loved his wife, and was not going to leave his wife for a prostitute. And her overreaction to that was killing herself.
Wow.
Yeah.
And it's a strange room. My wife won't stay in that room.
Wow. Well, we are actually investigating tonight Billy's room, Julia Lowe's. So we're hoping to see what we get and match what we got in 2013.
Okay.
And we would love to send you some of the
Yeah,
evidence.
please do.
Now, I know that the Copper Queen isn't the only haunted location, and I know that you run a tour here in Bisbee. Can you tell our listeners a little bit about the tour and what you do and how you got involved into the paranormal?
Sure. Well, I got involved because I grew up in a haunted house. And so I've always been interested in the unknown or the ghosts, paranormal. And then I moved to Bisbee, and there were all these haunted locations, except no ghost tour, which I wanted to take. So I was like, well, I'll just start my own, and that's what I did. So on the Old Bisbee Ghost Tour, which is our most popular tour, we do about 5 different tours that we offer guests. The Old Bisbee Ghost Tour takes place right now 7 nights a week.
Wow.
And yeah, it's a walking tour of Bisbee where you hear the ghost stories and the folklore regarding the ghosts which haunt the buildings. Because as you know, you can't do statistics on ghosts. You can't say this is definitely who it is. So we don't do that. We kind of say, well, this is what we believe happened. This is the history of the building, and we kind of leave it open-ended for our guests to determine whether it's, you know, really the ghost haunting the building or not.
So how can our listeners get a hold of you if they want to have a private tour or come on your tour?
OldBisbeeGhostTour.com.
Okay.
All our contact info's there. They can call us, they can shoot us an email. If they know when they want to make a reservation, they can do that online.
So if somebody wants to book a room here at the hotel, how do they get a hold of you?
They can do it online, but I suggest you call the hotel.
And is there a number that...
Yes, it's 520-432-2216.
Well, Dan, I want to again thank you for the interview, and we really can't thank you enough for the chance for all of us to be able to investigate the hotel.
Well, it's a lot of fun, and we'd always like people coming. I mean, you guys have been here before, and you've been a great group to work with. You know, and as you came, I got your rooms I knew were more active, so hopefully you'll have a kind of an interesting night tonight also.
Well, I think we're all going to have an interesting evening tonight. So we're really looking forward to it, and want to again say thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Awesome. Well, we want to again thank you, from everyone at Haunted Stories for allowing us to interview you.
No problem, my pleasure.
Well, have a great night.
Thank you.